Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri, and on today's DIY Wednesday video, we are gonna have a look at what's in my toolbox. Well, my toolbox and then like some periphery items. But we're gonna take a look to see the tools that I use on a regular basis, that I've been using on a regular basis, the tools I feel the beginner to, my level, not master carpentry tool workshop situation. No, maybe I want to make a shelf. Maybe I need to, repair a hole in my wall. What sort of tools do I need? For those that are wondering, because I have had some comments asking me what I think a good beginner tool set would be without breaking the bank. And these tools, if you've watched any of my DIY videos, you know that while I do have some pretty large, big power tool type things, the tools I can't live without, I use in pretty much every single motherfucking DIY. So we're gonna go over that right now. Okay, so interestingly enough, I do actually own a toolbox. You barely see it because I have my tools all over the damn place. And especially now, since the garage isn't organized and everything is just in complete disarray, I did put the things that go in the toolbox back in the toolbox so I could show you exactly what is in the toolbox. Now, I have a lot of fucking screwdrivers. I'll just show you right now. I have a lot of screwdrivers. I got this Cobalt set as a gift, and it has every size fucking flathead, Phillips head, hex head screwdriver you can ever want. There is no way any of you need this many screwdrivers. But a nice screwdriver set with a couple of flatheads and a couple of Phillips heads would be great to have. You don't need they're like 109 piece screwdriver set. Hell no. Ain't nobody using 109 screwdrivers. You need 2 Phillips and 2 flatheads at most. And that's just because in case you can't use your drill with a screwdriver bit in it and you need to hand screw something, which I try to avoid at all turns, you do need a couple screwdrivers. Even one of those cheapy sets that you can get I would say at the grocery outlet, they come in a box already, and there's 10-piece set for $5.99. They don't need to be expensive. There's no reason to pay a lot of money for a screwdriver set. There's just no reason. I do use these. It's not like I don't, but I guarantee I don't use every single one that came in the set. The other thing I do have, which I do end up using a lot, are my needle nose pliers. I do have a couple of them, little tiny babies. So the needle nose are like little pinchers, and these help get into nooks and crannies, whatever. I also do have a couple wire cutters, but these are not needed at all. And I have, this comes in handy for when you are by yourself and you're trying to screw in something really tight and maybe the other side of it has a nut. I hold the nut with this so that I can get good torque on it, and then I screw in with the screwdriver. So this does come in handy, and maybe in your little screwdriver set, you could possibly get this in your little cheapy screwdriver set. And it's not like you need a giant one. This one works just fine for me. I also have the extra little screwdriver bits for my drill. Some of them you can see are missing. I either strip them or I lose them. And I do have 2 extras that are still in the package right here. And these are just little attachments that turn your drill into a super high powered screwdriver. But a lot of times, some of the kits that you buy will come with these. And I'll show you what I mean by a kit in just a second. I also have, you don't really need this. But the reason I have this is one of those ratchet, it goes, I need this for my Jeep. So I have this plus the little ratchet things, and sometimes it has come in handy to have, but very rarely do I reach for this little thing, but it's in my toolbox. Definitely a good blade. I go to this blade all the time. I do have some cheapy blades in here too, like the ones from the Dollar Tree, which are fine, but I find myself going for this super good blade. And it also has like this, like you could get a screw out if you wanted to open a paint can, whatever. A blade like this with the retractable in and out for safety. I mean, open a box, you need this. I'm just saying. I will try to find this on the Amazon and link it below, as well as with everything else I suggest for your toolbox in case you're interested. Oh, definitely a tape measure, and I have two. I have this one that only goes to 12 feet, and this is good to take with you in the car. So if you're measuring furniture, you're looking for a piece of furniture, this one's light enough weight, you can just throw it in your purse and then you have it whenever you come across a table or something and you wanna know how big it is. This is my 25-foot one that you see me use more around the house. So a tape measure or two, I would say, must have in the toolbox. The underneath of my toolbox has like a straight edge ruler, some clamps in the bottom, some electrical tape, and if I could fit it, I would have my Type Bond wood glue right in here, but I can't fit it in this toolbox, so I don't. And to be quite honest with you, I rarely go to the bottom of this toolbox. Unless I need a clamp, everything that I ever need or want to use is right in this little top compartment. The other items that are in the bottom here, they're just periphery shit that maybe I use once in a while. I mean, I have some spackle smoother outers, a little baby level. I have some straight line chalk and a straight line, which I maybe used once my whole life. It's so that you can make a chalk line. So if you wanted to hang like a series of photographs or frames or something and you all wanted them in a straight line, or you were mounting a shelf, you don't need this though. I'm just saying, it looks like this. And when you pull it out, the line is covered in blue chalk so that you can run it across your wall and then you snap it and then it leaves a nice blue chalk line on your wall or wherever you need to hang some shit straight. It is nice. I don't reach for it a lot. Really? The shit that's in my toolbox, a lot of it you don't really need. And a lot of it, to be quite honest with you, I don't reach for that often. I do, like I said, reach for some of my hand screwdrivers and the blade always. I do reach for my pliers, my wire cutters, my needle nose pliers, my blade quite often, but the rest of the stuff in the bottom, I don't reach for hardly ever. So if you're looking to start a toolbox, if you don't have one already, you could get one this size, or to be quite honest, you could probably get one smaller, or to be even more quite honest, you could probably get a Tupperware container with a lid and store the minimal amount of tools that you need in there. That is technically what is in my toolbox, but for the what is in my toolbox in the garage sense of the word, I guess, the tools that I go to all the time and that I think every beginner to mid DIYer needs, that's what we're going over next. The number one thing that every single person on the planet should own, if you don't own anything else, you gotta get yourself an electric palm sander. Hashtag not sponsored by Black & Decker. Personally, I just think for the quality of the tool, I guess, as well as the price, Black & Decker's pretty affordable when it comes to your palm sanders, your drills, your things like that. I think that's why I gravitate towards them, is because they're not expensive. And in my experience, they have all the power I need. Hello, Black & Decker, between me and you, I really like your guys' tools. Just throwing that out there. So, Black & Decker, this is the quarter sheet palm sander. I actually prefer the quarter sheet palm sander to like the orbital sanders, because the orbital sanders, I feel like they're getting you coming and going. If you have the quarter sheet palm sander, you can buy your 8.5 by 11 sheets of sandpaper. I just rip them into quarters and then they go right onto your palm sander. You can get this in a multi-grit, spend like $6 and you've got a ton of sandpaper. A lot of people are going towards those orbital ones where you have to buy this special round sheet that has like the Velcro backing to stick it on, which is fine, but I don't think very cost effective. I go through sandpaper really a lot. And if I had to go buy those fucking round sheets every single time, that would be a waste of money for me. I like the quarter sheet for the reason that I feel like I get the most bang for my buck out of the sandpaper that I have to buy. And I'm telling you right now, this 3M sandpaper, money. I never buy cheap sandpaper again. I always look for the 3M. Quarter sheet palm sander, a must have, and I cannot live without it. I just can't. Do I keep my tools in their box? Yes, I do. So you can see it is well loved, well dusty. I love it. I love it so much. Get yourself one. I honestly think these are like $25. I'm not joking. They're not expensive at all. And I use this so much, so much. I was gonna say the palm sander is my most favorite. The palm sander is my most used tool. Ain't nobody got time to hand sand something. I'm just saying right now. But my most favorite tool that I own ever in the world that not only comes in handy, but is also pretty inexpensive, and I use it for a ton of shit. You've seen it before. Here it is again. It is my Black & Decker Jigsaw. Again, not sponsored by Black & Decker. This is actually my second Jigsaw because I think I told you the story of my first Jigsaw where my neighbor conveniently stole it. I borrowed your Jigsaw and now we're moving and I don't know what box I put it in, and oh look, here are the movers. Oh, if I find it, I'll send it to you. Thankfully, they're not that expensive, so I went out and just purchased myself a new one because quite frankly, I can't even remember her name anymore, so Lord knows I'm not gonna get that Jigsaw back ever. And considering she moved away probably 7 years ago, yeah, Jigsaws, not expensive. And the use I get out of this thing, holy shit. You've seen it. You've seen me cut planks of wood. You can get shapes. You're not just limited to straight lines. It's very user-friendly, very lightweight, very easy to use. I love it. Easy to replace the blades. You can buy the blades separately in like these little blade packs. I think I have some in here actually. Yep. Why do I have an empty package of blades in the bottom of my Jigsaw box? I don't know. So to replace the blades, it's super easy. There's this little black like levery thing that you literally just pull down on, and then it frees up the blade and it comes right out. The back of the blade rests against that little wheel. You shove the blade up in there, you release that black thing, boom, it's in there. So easy. What's really cool is that you can get like a 45-degree angled cut without a miter box or anything like that, just using your Jigsaw and tipping this bottom plate to the direction that you need it. I mean, it's like you don't even need to read anything. Everything is just like dum-dum proof. So right here, they have pictures of the cuts you plan to make. If you want to do a squiggly line cut, you turn this knob right here to the squiggly line picture. A gentle curve, you turn your knob to that one. Oh look, you can cut PVC pipe with this. Obviously you'd want to get a blade that cuts PVC pipe. Pretty much fucking foolproof. And right here is extra storage for extra blades, so they're always right there. Isn't that cute? So easy to use, so lightweight. I use my Jigsaw all of the time. Not even if you want to build a shelf. If you just need to cut a piece of wood because you want to make a single shelf or a planter box or anything, because it is so lightweight and so convenient, I just love it. If you don't have one, you definitely should consider getting one. If you're planning on doing any sort of DIY, craft, home improvement, what have you, Jigsaw, it's the best thing ever on the planet. As far as I'm concerned, for my needs, and my needs require this 99% of the time. While I feel like I keep saying my palm sander and my Jigsaw were the first two tools I ever got, I don't necessarily think that is true, because I know that I have always had some sort of a drill. This one is really lightweight and really powerful. It's 20 volts. I don't know what that means, but it's pretty powerful. Look at the lightweightness of it. This was not that expensive either. It is nice to have two of these if you can. You know, you've seen it before. I'm pre-drilling, so I have a drill bit in one, and then I'm screwing, so I have a Phillips head screw bit in another. But one will do you just fine as well. If you don't plan on like ever needing to cut wood, because you can get away with not cutting your own wood. If you're buying wood at the Lowe's or the Home Depot, we know they have the wood cutting area. The drill, like I said, ain't nobody got time to to be hand screwing in, especially if you're doing something like building a privacy screen for the backyard where it's taking 80 million screws. No ma'am, no thank you, no. I'm not hand screwing those in. Cordless is the way to go. It'll come with its own little charger. And then what you need to get is a little kit of drill bits and the little like screwdriver-y accessories as well. I have a whole mess of drill bits. This just happens to be the one that I just keep. It's very easy to grab. While it doesn't have every single size on the planet, it has a lot of sizes. I go to this one quite often. You just widen out that little thing, make sure this is real tight, and you're good to go. Now, it does have these little numbers on the side here, this little dial situation for, I guess like torque or power or whatever. I always leave mine on 10. Give me the most power, I need it. Again, lightweight, super great. Gotta love that lithium battery. If you could only have 3 tools in your life, I would say palm sander, jigsaw, and a drill. When you get this little guy, don't forget, you need some drill bits. They do sell like an all-in-one like sort of kit that will come with drill bits and accessories for your drill and all that stuff. I would just price that out compared to just purchasing the drill on its own and then getting yourself a little box. So yeah, don't forget about these. You need them. This alone ain't gonna do you no good. Another pretty important thing, and you guys again have seen me use this many a times. I happen to have 3 of them, maybe even 4. 100% staple gun. Just when you think you don't need a staple gun, you need a fucking staple gun. You're putting up Christmas lights around your house, I use my staple gun. Recover a chair, staple gun. If you have like an overhang in your backyard and you wanna put up nice like market lights, fucking staple gun. This is I think they're all Stanley. Very easy to use, very lightweight. It's easy to squeeze. It's not super heavy duty, but it does do the job, especially for like staple gunning fabric to a bottom of a chair. This one I wanna say is like $9.99. This one does have like a nice rubbery, handly grip, but I think this one's hard to squeeze for me. This one's the heaviest one, and it says heavy duty right on it. You can feel it in the weight. This one does start to hurt my hand after a while. This one's also pretty hard if you are trying to go upside down, like for Christmas lights up under your eave, whereas this one is just fine and it's much softer and easier on the hand. So if you do have any, like carpal tunnel issues, arthritis issues, and you do want to get a staple gun, I would just get this little Stanley $9.99 one. It's real soft, really easy to use, but no matter heavy duty, soft duty, light duty, whatever duty, you should have one in your toolbox. When you get one, you will be like, how did I never have a staple gun before? Or maybe you've already been saying to yourself, I would do that if only I had a motherfucking staple gun. And the packs of staples aren't that expensive either. So if you don't have one already, I highly suggest putting a staple gun in your toolbox. Next, definitely I would say a ruler in your toolbox, which I have in there, but also a nice level. I use a level a lot. Hanging frames, hanging stuff. I have this little guy that's like 16 inches and he comes in handy a lot. Just because it's so lightweight and it's just easy peasy, and picture frames and shit aren't usually much longer than 16 inches. But I do have the ginormous like yardstick one. What is this? 48 inches. But I think I find myself using the little guy even more. Not a super must have, this ginormous one. Get yourself just a little baby guy and you'll be fine. So if you don't have a level, maybe a level. I wouldn't say it's a must have, because believe me, before I got my levels, I would just eyeball that shit. Yeah, that looks straight to me. This does make it easier, saves on the guesswork. So yeah. As far as like your must haves, you're just like, gosh, I really want to get a little bit more into DIYing. I know I can do it because I see Sheri do it all the damn time, but I just don't have any tools. I don't know where to start. Your must-haves that won't break the bank. A couple flathead, and a couple Phillips head screwdrivers. One that's kind of bigger, one that's kind of smaller in each size. Maybe a pair of needle nose pliers, and that's not even a must-have. Maybe just a normal plier, just so that if you needed to get some torque on something, you could use a plier to do that. Get yourself a metal ruler. Get it from the Dollar Tree. They have a tool section, and you might be able to get yourself some clamps and a couple screwdrivers and a blade. And believe me, I have Dollar Tree tools like in my craft bins and things like that. Screwdrivers, electrical tape, duct tape. You're not gonna find a staple gun. You might find a measuring tape, a little baby measuring tape, but a measuring tape nonetheless. That's your first stop. And all those little periphery items, I bet you can pretty much get 90% of them at the Dollar Tree. Then I would head on over to your big box, Home Depot, Lowe's, Osh, what have you. Look for coupons, look for sales so that you can get the best price for what you need. Can't live without the palm sander, some sort of a drill, and quite possibly the jigsaw. Those would be my number one power tools that I would recommend from beginner to intermediate, DIYer, woodworker. These tools are where it's at. But you are looking at over $100 for these three tools, because this is $25. I'm sure this is like about $30 or $40, and this is probably a good $60. So we're looking at probably about $125 to $150 on these three tools. So that's why I'm telling you, get the coupons, get the online door deals. I don't know, whatever they've got in your area at your local store, find those coupons and get these things on sale. It is gonna be your biggest expense, so save up for it and look for those coupons. That's all I'm saying. Now, we all know that I have a lot more tools than just these three things. I have a table saw, I have an air compressor, I have a paint spray gun. Those big tools aren't necessarily needed. They do come in handy. They do make some bigger jobs a little bit more convenient. But there is one tool that I am thankful that I have it when I need it. If you can get it and you are interested in doing a little bit more woodworking, maybe you want to build a deck. Maybe you want to build a really big shelving unit. It's not something I use all of the time because believe me, I get my jigsaw out whenever I can. However, when I get this tool, it makes it go way faster and way easier. And that is a circular saw? I mean, I don't know exactly what they call these. You've seen me use this a million times. This thing for cutting wood in a straight line makes a quick job of it. It's super easy to use. It is it's heavy duty, but it's very easy to use. It's very user friendly. You're not gonna chop your finger off. I show you guys all the time to not be scared of this. For the price, you might go, holy shit, no. But believe me, like I said, let's say you have a jigsaw and you have a palm sander and you are thinking like, I don't know, maybe this fall you want to build a deck for your backyard, or you want to build a picnic table or a bench or anything. This puppy is great. They do sell the blades separately. I think I've only changed this blade once or twice in my life. I love this thing. But again, it's not a must-have. It's kind of a luxury item when it comes to tools. You know, once you get over like an inch and a half in wood thickness for the jigsaw, while it will cut it, it just takes a little bit longer. This makes quick work out of that thick wood cut. If you can swing it and you are looking to get into some bigger projects, this would be a nice tool to have. Although it doesn't look like it, it is very easy to use. You don't have to be scared of it, and I think it's well worth the money. For the projects that I do and that I've used this for, if you don't plan on building a deck or building a giant shelving unit or building a picnic table or a bench or a giant planter box, then yeah, you're probably not gonna need this. And a jigsaw is all you're ever gonna need and all you're ever gonna want. I just wanted to show you this because this is one of my favorite larger power tools that I own. All right, I hope that seeing what is inside my toolbox helped you decide what should be inside your toolbox. I'll try to link whatever I can in the description box below, but really, if you're starting bare bones, don't have a tool in sight, I would 100% go to the Dollar Tree and see what you can get as far as the essentials are concerned. And then when you're ready and you wanna start hitting some bigger DIY projects, because you're like looking around at DIYs that I do and you're like, yeah, I could build that mirror out of a fucking pallet. If only I had a damn jigsaw. Now you know. So keep your eyes peeled for coupons, for sales, buy one, get ones. I bet for 150 bucks, you could get everything you ever needed and you would be good to go. And you will be a DIY pro in no time. Also, don't forget a staple gun. It's very important. Staple gun, for certain. And the reason why we did this video on this DIY Wednesday, I know we weren't building anything. Clearly you can see I still have some shit going on here for our side hustle. These are my last two pieces. I just need to top coat them and then get them online to sell. If you missed the side hustle project part 1, go check that out. That's what these are, because you guys have asked for it. What sort of tools were my first tools? What sort of tools do I recommend for like beginning DIY? I thought taking a look inside my toolbox would be absolutely perfect for this DIY Wednesday video. So if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are alerted to all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out, which is every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out.